Hello, it's Paul here from Luminous by Nature. I've just come on today to show you how to attach chain to any stained glass piece that you've created and you'd like to hang up. We use stainless steel attachments because we learnt early on that the plated metal just doesn't last as long, especially if you're going to hang it outside. It rusts fairly quickly. The stainless steel doesn't rust and keeps its shine fairly well. One way I'll show you today, if you can see that, is attaching by jump ring, stainless steel jump ring, and another way I will show you is attaching by these copper strips. Two different ways with varying degrees of difficulty, but I will show you how you can do that. Okay, the first way I'll show you is with the copper strips. So what we're going to first do is tin them, because we want them to be the same colour as the solder when we patina it. This is going to be a black. It's going to be patinaed black, so we'll patina the strips as well. So first we'll just run a bit of flux on them, and then we're just going to tin them. Tinning is just a light coating of solder, so we can colour it the same colour as the rest of the solder. We don't want it too thick, because it will be quite hard to bend, well, not hard, just tricky to bend the copper strips into shape. These heat up really quickly, like really quickly, so careful when you pick them up. Just take your time maybe to let them cool down, and if you're soldering on a board like I am here, they tend to stick and they will have a build up of carbon where the wood has burnt on the back. So if that's the case with this, we may need to just have a bit more extra effort when putting the solder on. It helps rub the carbon away and rub the carbon off there and colour it with the solder. There you have it. So if you have put too much solder on there, what you can do to thin it down is I hold it in the pliers, pair of pliers like this. I use stainless steel pliers as well. You'll see the solder that we use in stained glass is quite tricky. It sort of, I guess you can say, it repels on the stainless steel. So the stainless steel pliers are quite handy to use because they won't get stuck together if you're using solder. But it is quite tricky to attach the jump ring, which I will show you when it comes time to do it. So anyway, back to what I was doing. If the copper strips have got too much solder on there, you can just hold it vertically in the pair of pliers like that and just brush it down with a soldering iron, and that will just get rid of any excess and get it nice and thin, easy to bend into shape. So they're done. So what I do next is just bend it. Say I use my flux brush here. You just bend it around to make a U shape, like so. Do that for both of them. Like that. And then I'll just get the pliers and make some little feet on them, because this will help it have a what do you call it, like an area where it will be able to attach to the actual stained glass piece. I don't know if you can see that there, like that. We'll do that with the next piece. And then the next thing we do is we attach the chain, we run the chain onto the actual copper strip. These chains are pre-made, we make them beforehand. I mean, you could attach these copper strips without the chain first if you wanted to, and then attach the chain to that, but we've found it easier just to, you get two 7mm jump rings, attach them on the end, and then feed it over the strip like that. The jump rings are stainless steel as well, so it just creates better quality and strength and sturdiness holding your piece when you hang your piece, and also it won't rust when you hang it outside. Alright, so the next move is, so we just got this oval panel that we just soldered. It still needs a bit of a clean, but you do all the soldering before you get onto that next bit. So that's another thing too with your pieces. You can choose, like a piece like this, you can choose to hang it like that if you want, or like that. Either or is fine, depends on your preference. And then what I do is hold the piece like this, work out where you're going to put the jump rings, the little copper strips. Now the chain's not going to attach with the solder because it's not compatible really with the solder. Like it will just run off it, or just basically won't attach. But you can move the chain up out of the way like that. But I hold the little copper strip on the piece like that. You want it to be as the soldering area to be as horizontal as possible, because the solder will run with gravity. So if we were just to do it like that, I mean, you may attach it like, I don't know if you can see that, but it's going downward. The solder will just run down and you can't build it up around there. You may attach it, but you'll have to just come back and clean it up, which we will clean up anyway, but it does make things a lot easier when you first solder a piece. Like even soldering the glass together, it's, where you're soldering is just the most horizontal place that you can have it. Alright, so next I flux just a fair bit. Now you're really just going to want to tack this first, because this copper strip is going to heat up really quickly, and if I hang around too long with the soldering tip, I'll feel it within 2 to 3 seconds through my fingers there. So pretty much just like that. So that's attached, but only a little tack really. But first we'll do the other side. Now we don't have to hold it because it's already attached. Same thing again, as horizontal as you can when you're soldering. And you come back to the first one, and you'll see how that is attached, like so. And then we'll just clean that up. You want to have the copper strip as straight on the edge too, That makes sense, because if you were to have it slightly crooked, the corner of the strip will be poking out, and that can cause a hazard when you're cleaning it later with a rag or something. It can catch on the rag, and there is that potential to rip or pull the solder off the glass, and you're going to have to just start again. So there you go. Alright, and then you repeat the process with the next side. Feeding that jump ring through the chain. And then when it comes to doing the second one, you want to have it, well, exactly in the same place as the other one, but opposite. So then it hangs straight. That looks fairly straight to me. So same again, holding your piece as horizontal as possible. This also helps with any drippage of the solder. You don't want it, well, priority first, or you don't want it dripping on you, because it's bloody hot. And just a quick tack. You'll see it doesn't look like it's attached, but the solder has run underneath. If I was to wobble, the chains come off. If I was to wobble that a bit, it would probably come off. But it's just like a light tack just to hold it in place while we do the other side. Oop. Bit of flux on there. And then, there we go. You come back and put a bit more on the first bit that you've done. And then clean it up. Always just use this thin part of the tip here. You can see that, it's like the pointy bit. That's what I use to tidy up any solder lines, get rid of any bumps or lines when it's looking a bit messy. Apply it with the wider part here, and then to smooth it all out with that the thinnest part there. And you can relatively get a majority of the lines out and have it looking nice and smooth. And you can also use like a majority of the tip like that, thin part facing downward like that, and that helps get it, especially when you're doing the outside edges like this and you have to go around curves, it helps get it nice and smooth and build it up, so you're not just getting you're getting another couple of layers on there. There you have it. So now that's the with the copper strips. Next I'm going to show you with the stainless steel jump ring. This one can be a bit difficult, there's a bit more patience required, but it is possible, I assure you. I'll attach it to the star. Alright, so I have this additional jump ring here. This is the one that's going to be attached to the glass piece. It'll have the chain. I just got to split it. It's a split ring, so I'm just splitting it first to put the chain on through it, the chain on it. And with this chain, we've got the small 7mm jump ring at one end to feed onto the jump ring that will be attached. But then we also have a 10mm stainless steel jump ring at the end, so you can hang this piece by a nail from your window or hang it from a tree outside or whatever. You can find these jump rings either online, or these big jump rings we get from the local fishing shop. Here in Australia, I don't know if you have it overseas, it's just BCF. They're like a size 9 stainless steel jump ring. Yes, so, and then I'll just sort of close that up lightly. The aim is we want where that split is in the jump ring is the part that will be attached to the actual star, because we don't want it to be facing or not have any solder attached on that bit, because if that's left facing up, the chain can potentially come off and all that hard work will become undone if it falls off and smashes on the ground. We don't want that. So with this one, like I said, this is a bit more challenging, but it can be done. We do normally do this with the pieces we sell, our commission pieces, if we do small commission pieces like this, but we had to change it with our workshops because we found it a bit challenging for beginners to accomplish, and with the copper strips they're so much easier and you can make them look nice too. Alright, so once again the stainless steel, you'll see, I don't know if you can see that, the bit where the split is in the ring. I put the star or whatever piece you're going to do in the corner of your board, or somewhere where it can you can sort of push on it and it won't move about. And what we're going to do is just hold, so sorry, with this star it's got the longer bit, so if it was all short pieces like that, I could just put it in the middle there, but because it's got longer points at either end, it won't look as symmetrical, or, I mean, you could do it, but I'm going to attempt to put it on one of the longer points. So star just in the middle there. It also helps too, with this I use a bit of flux just to drown it in, because the flux does help it, help the solder sort of flow around it and attach. It's like it's not actually joining to the stainless steel, it's flowing around it and connecting again to the solder on the other side, if that makes sense. Because for some reason the stainless steel just repels this solder that we use in lead lighting. So just right on the point. You can stick it on either side, but I like to put it right on the point so it's symmetrical. And it takes a bit of mucking around. and you can sometimes end up with a big glob on the underside of where you have soldered. Just have to And because it's right on the tip too, that can prove a bit challenging as well, because you're trying to attach it onto a point. There is no, like, it's easier if it's on like a wider surface area. But pretty much the idea is you just keep attaching solder until it flows over the ring, if that makes sense, and then flows onto the other side. I don't know if you can see that there, the big glob there, but we can clean that up, but that is attached. So then what you're going to do then is just knock off the excess with your tip. If you need to, you can, once it's attached like that, you can add more. Oh, sometimes it does that too, it'll come off. Definitely a patience game. I find actually forget what I was going to say then. Oops, a daisy. And another thing too, if you continue, sometimes you might have to just let it cool down for a bit, because if you continuously, I find just from experience, continuously putting a soldering tip on in one section, it just increases the heat and the solder just runs off, and will just continuously run off while it's continuously being heated up. So we almost had it. There we go. And you can even add more flux as you go through, like keep going just to help with the process. Yeah, that's attached, but once again it's got that big blob on the other side, so and then you just give it a bit of a clean up. Once again, like, this chain's already pre-made, you can just attach the jump ring without the chain. That might be easier for you, and then you just attach the chain later on. But for myself, I find it easier just to have the chain pre-made and then it's ready to go, and then yeah, I can just attach it like that. And being stainless steel, like I said before, it doesn't, the solder doesn't stick in it, stick onto it. There we go. And there we have the jump ring attached. There you go. Well, I'm hoping that was helpful for everyone. If there's anything that didn't make sense, just leave a question in the comments and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I'm going to clean these up now and give them a colour. I hope you guys are having a great day out there. See you next time. Bye.